Gotta love Eddie Watkins Jr., and he's on a tour around the U.S., so who knows? He just may drop in. Yes, yes, yes. All right, well, here we are on this final Sunday in January. And doesn't it seem like just yesterday that we were welcoming in the new year in together on that first Sunday in January? Or does that day, by now, seem so far away? But either way, on that first Sunday, because we were already 7 days into 2024, we asked ourselves then a good question that we can ask ourselves now. Does this year feel alive with boundless possibilities for creating something beautiful and new in our life, and for greater possibilities for change in the world as it did? On that New Year's Eve, or on New Year's Day, can we recall how hopeful and excited we felt then? The promise of something new, something positive that will change things for the better, carries with it a high vibrational energy that may have been easier for all of us to feel because we were feeling the whole world feeling it. We were all feeling it together. The high possibilities, the joy of something new, something greater, something to get excited about. It was a symbolic newness that we experienced together. Well, we don't have to keep that energy going. That energy is always going. It's perpetual. It's eternal. It's without beginning and without end. All that's required of us is to stop pinching it off from our own experience of life by thinking up reasons why we don't feel it or shouldn't feel it. And we know. We all have our reasons. That's why on that first Sunday in January, 7 days in, we checked in with ourselves to see if we were still feeling fresh and frisky about the new, or if we were already feeling stale and tired 7 days in. Well, 28 days in, it's a good thing for us to do again, to check in to see how we're feeling. Because it's always good for us to be aware all the time of how we're feeling about life and ourselves in life. Because if we're not noticing who we think we are and how our being that one we think we are is causing us to feel wherever we are and causing us to live the way we're living in the moments of our life, then to paraphrase John Lennon, life will be what happens to us while we're busy making other plans. Often we focus on the busyness of our life, the busyness of the day, appointments that we've got to keep and obligations we need to fulfill and stuff we think we need to do, or at least stuff we think we need to think about doing. And we get going on all of that. without first checking in within and consciously connecting to the life within us that has given us a life to live and filled us with beautiful, loving, joyful, peaceful, energetic possibilities for our living it every moment of every day. What does it matter if we get through a day and we get everything on our to-do list done? If we weren't paying attention through the day to the story we were telling ourselves and telling others about the way life goes, and noticing if we were enjoying the storyline in the telling of it. We asked ourselves on that first Sunday if we were feeling happy about who we are in life and how life goes for us. Or if we were still trying to improve on who we are, trying to become more spiritual so that we'd feel worthy for life to go better for us. So on this 28th day of January, it's still a really good question for us to ask ourselves. Do we know how precious and magnificent we are? Do we know how wonderful we are right now? How perfect in every way we are right now? Do we feel blessed to be alive as ourselves? Or are we still, after all this time, trying to improve on God's handiwork so that we'll feel like we're worthy to tell a greater story about ourselves? And all that work, all that struggle to know, all that effort to learn, to try to understand it all so that we're worthy to have it all, is totally unnecessary, when each of us already has the greatest story ever told within us. And that sacred title is I Am. The spiritual teacher Mooji wrote, "You never have to prove your own worth, for you are already complete within, as the beloved child of the divine. Be happy." Happiness is our divine nature. Happiness is who we are. So, do we be happy now? Oh yeah, I'm going to end this last talk in January on a happy note. So just check in with yourself. If our story so far this year has been one we enjoyed most of the time, or some of the time, and we've been sharing our happy, life-affirming stories with our friends and with our family, if we've been thinking about and talking up healings and thinking about happy things and talking about happy things and looking for the positive aspects in others and talking about the positive outcomes in our own life, then our story moving forward this year is automatically going to get better and better with no effort at all on our part but to be happy. But even if our story so far has been one we haven't enjoyed most of the time or any of the time, and we've been sharing that story with our family and friends, and in the process not only not helping the situation get better, but making it worse through our repetition and affirmation of what we don't want, then even if this month wasn't a great story, For better or worse, there's one thing that we can all know for sure. We can't go back and tell another story about January 2024. It's a wrap. But we can turn the page and ask ourselves what story we want to tell about our life now. Abraham Hicks reminds us you have to begin telling your story in a new way. You have to tell it as you want it to be. And if the thought comes to mind when you hear something like that, well, that's not very realistic, then it's important to ask ourselves, what is it we do believe is real? Ever have an unwanted experience? Of course, we all have it. Maybe it was a health challenge or an injury. Maybe it was a negative encounter with someone, or something happened that seems so unfair in our life, and we found ourselves saying, well, that's the story of my life. Ever said that? It's easy for us to think that way and to stay with the story of our life. That seems like the only story of our life. We like to think after all this time and all those experiences that we finally have a handle on this earth life, even if we would really like to let that handle go. All we need to do to keep telling the past stories is to point at the obvious, at what appears in front of us that keeps affirming for us that things in our life can't change. And that'll seem to be reality because nothing in front of us can change until we start thinking new thoughts and telling a new story. Telling a story in a new way, in the way we want it to be, in the way we imagine that it could be. And how it could be will begin to feel more real. It'll begin to feel like reality. And that feeling will manifest how it could be as it is, right in front of our eyes, because we will have started by looking beyond the physical appearances to that place within us that has unlimited possibilities for our life expression. I mean, that's why Jesus and so many spiritual teachers said, judge not according to appearances. If we could just stop telling it like it is and start talking about how it could be will be our reality individually and as a world. Abraham Hicks tells us that looking at what's unwanted in our life, in the world, is like driving a car with the windshield on the floorboard. And all we can see is where we are passing by us. We can't see anything more than that. If we want to see more, we need to put our mental windshield up where it belongs, where the view is so much better. It's so much more expansive. And where spiritual possibilities abound for us, then we can see the possibilities for our life as we move forward and decide how we want our life to be and what we want to do next. So, in keeping with our storytelling and movie making theme this month, we could say that it's time for us to say, it's a wrap. to our past stories. If we've been telling it like it is and we're not happy in the telling, then it's time for us to tell our story in a way that feels good as we talk about it, that feels good as we think about it, that feels good as we share it with everybody. And it's important to let it out. Share it with a friend, with your family. It's always good to get that energy going. It's way too late for us to say it's a wrap on the whole story of our life because we haven't lived the whole story yet. As long as we're participating in this earth experience, our story teeters on the edge of something new in every moment. We're not stuck in any story about ourselves, no matter how long we've been telling it. Stories about our negative upbringing or stories about our lack of well-being today. Because the high vibrational energy of newness is still present right now, right where we are. And it will continue to be present in every moment of every day as this year moves along and we move along with it into the positive possibilities of what's next. In fact, the only thing that could keep us from experiencing ourselves in life in a new way that expresses more peace and love in 2024 than ever before is if we say it's a wrap to our life story because we believe that it's not going to change, it's not going to get new, it's not going to be different. And so that's it. That's it for the story. Ever wonder how those B movies ever got made? I mean, all that time, all that money, all that energy, all that effort into poor scripts and poor acting? Could it be that the director or the writer said it's a wrap too soon, when there was still an inspired story left to tell? None of us was created to live our life like a B movie, because all of us are on Spirit's A-list. And no matter how the story has gone so far, there's still an inspired story left within each of us to tell. In the way of the heart we read, I cannot find a concept, a word, an idea, a philosophy, or a dogma that can contain the mystery that is closer to you than your own breath and awaits your discovery. God saw everything that he had made, including all of us, and behold, it was very good. And God said, it's a wrap. No matter what happens next, this that I have made is perfect, and it's not going to change. We're all pure spirit, now and forever. And nothing is impossible to us. We are changeless in our essence. We are changeless in our possibilities. We are changeless as powerful, creative beings. We're here on a journey of discovery. We're not here for repairs or improvement. It's our desire to be the great stuff that allows us to live, the great stuff of which great stories are made, and to attract more and more of it to us so that our Earth Story becomes a universal classic. Betty White, when asked what she attributed to her longevity and obvious joy in life, she said, "I know it sounds corny, but I try to see the funny side, the upside, not the downside. I get bored with people who complain about this and that. It's such a waste of time. Enjoy life. Accentuate the positive, not the negative." It sounds so trite, but a lot of people will pick out something to complain about rather than say, "Hey, that was great." It's not hard to find great stuff if you look. The good news is our life, as we live it, is still ongoing, and we still have time to look. Because it's happening right now in that high vibrational energy of creation that can bring it about. That energy is always and forever ours to use. It's perpetual, it's eternal, and so are we. We get to create ourselves anew in every moment if we want to. Our Earth Story ain't over till it's over. So let's not say it's a wrap until then. Namaste. I love this. I am in love with having y'all so close to me. So I'm just going to say thank you. Thank you for coming up closer and for bringing your high energy. It feels so good to feel it. And even though I could feel it when you were sitting way back there, oh, it's even better now. I am so grateful for imagination, our imagination, for our LEC steering committee and our LEC family, for our willingness to explore the new. And so grateful for the chutzpah of Jim Gould, who started doing it without us. And that's okay, because all that's left is the pizza. So we are so grateful for each other, and we are so grateful for you, and we are so grateful for this life that we are sharing together and this message of love that we have come together to share with the world. And as you know, we are on a journey, and we've begun to live our new vision even now. And as we move forward as a community in this world, it takes financial support, and thank you, all of you, for your financial support, because I know that's what you do every week, all the time. And it's what keeps us here sharing this love together. And if something you heard this morning has touched you or inspired you or got you excited, and you're just wondering how you can join this journey that we're on and feel like you're truly a part of it, well, then our treasurer, Dr. Jamie Phillips, is going to tell you how to do just that.
Ooh, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, it is interesting here. Nice. Okay, that was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you would like to donate to the Life Enrichment Center, I'm going to give you some ways that you can do it. You can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Life Enrichment Center, and hit the donate button. You can donate via our website, lecflint.com, and there's a donate button there. You can donate via PayPal, and our PayPal email address that you need to put in order to donate is lec2512@gmail.com. And then you can also write a check and mail it into Life Enrichment Center, P.O. Box 321294, Flint, Michigan 48532. And in the sanctuary, we're going to be taking up an offertory while we listen to Daniel Namad and Nemo Patel singing Grateful, and then Reverend Stephanie will be up for a gratitude song. Jamming today for gratitude prayer. Thank you.